Hey, what's up, guys? Edison commandeers a Russian tank in Ukraine here, and this is the second part to my August CGC bulk return. Pretty much took 6 months. Yeah, I think just 6 months to get back to me. That's it. Let's go over the cards, and I'll give you thoughts. One of the main things that I felt about this submission, ooh, this is really nice. 9.5 Misty's Lapras VS series. I think this is one of the exclusive Japanese artworks. Yeah, one of the things I have noticed is the quality of my submissions varies. Nice little 8.5 Walrein Hollow. I like that artwork. Some of this stuff is nice, like the Walrein, the Lapras, even this Crawdon. Even I graded at 8, which is not a great grade for these types of cards. There's not much demand outside of a 9 plus, but even like an EX card, like this is all good stuff to submit. The grade is 8 or above. It's near mint plus, which I think is super important. But like I was randomly in the previous video too, where I showed off, and even I think some of the stuff also here. There's just like random junk that I had submitted. I cannot explain to you why I would have graded it. That's a nice little swirl there, right next to his head. Yeah, I don't know why I graded some of the stuff that I did, especially some of the stuff that's just super beat up. There's no reason. And the thing is too, like I have nice quality cards. Like we can see, I have like nice old back cards and hollows to send in. Like these are all super solid grades for these cards. So there was no reason for me to be sending in these 4 or 5s mid grades when realistically I could just sell them raw and end up making more than just trying to grade them and sell them as a graded card. I think my thought process when I sent them in was it was still worth grading even the mid-grade stuff because there was a margin. But right now, a lot of the old back hollows especially have retreated to the point where you really do need them in an 8+ condition to see any premium, accounting for after grading. So it's just one of those observations. Like I can't really explain to you why I graded the stuff that I did. These are really nice. Really, really nice cards. Old back is just so nice to get in these higher grades. Because in my opinion, the Japanese old back hollowing is much nicer than English as well. I believe they should be different. Look how much character you have in that. And just solid grades. 8.5 to 9 in these cards are, I think, always nice to pull. Price is Lapras. Really nice. VS. Japanese VS. I don't even remember where I bought this set. But this all graded really well. 9+ it seems. Oh, I guess 8.5 in the Morty's Ninetale, but Morty is just a more, even though it's a lower grade, I think that you'll probably see a better price realized on this compared to like the Blaine's Macargo in a higher grade. Jasmine Delectabuzz, I like this artwork. This was pretty solid, this box. Pretty much everything was at least an 8.5, except for that one Crawdon. I guess we got 2.95 VS cards. Pretty solid. You probably noticed it in that either when we were going over those last cards, just random Korokoro, Pikachu, and Poromo in a low grade, that I just didn't do subgrades on any of this stuff. This is a decent one. Sizzle Korokoro 8.5. Yeah, so the last video, none of the bulk stuff has subgrades. In this video, none of it has subgrades. It's just, I've kind of just moved away from doing subgrades at all on CGC cards. Specifically, it's just based off of price. Like the current price to grade with subgrades would essentially just double what I pay per card, and it just doesn't seem worth it. Yeah, these are the ones that are really confusing. The Korokoro is somewhat maybe understandable in maybe a 6 to an 8 is an acceptable range, but like some of these old back cards that I submitted, I have nicer copies that I just have sitting around, so there was really no reason for me to send the stuff that's getting like 6s. But it's nice. Butterfree, Yanma 8.5. I think what happened was a lot of this stuff all came from the same collection. Like they all came from the same binder that I'd purchased. And I think at the time I was just in the thought process of grading the whole binder and not really thinking much of it. Flareon Jungle. This is one of those cards where getting it even in a 7 is still fine. But like Erica's Vileplume is probably a card you don't want to see in a 7. Ooh, no rarity Electabuzz? Oh my god. How did this... Wait. This is wrong. Oh, they actually think this is a no rarity Electabuzz on the label, but this should be one of the. I think it's a Cora promo. It should be glossy, but that label it does think. That kind of sucks. I might either just list it as a label error or note like what it's supposed to say, because I'm pretty sure that's. Oh my god! Wow, this is insane. Why did I grade this? Oh, it's so damaged. Look at those wrinkles. CGC 3, Anna Airlines Articuno. Zapdos in a 6, and what we get on the Moltres? 4 on the Moltres. This might be like a group that I just list them as like the complete set. You just get all 3 at once, list it for pretty much the cost of grading, and hope that someone picks it up. But like in hindsight, that I'm kind of just at a loss for words as to why I would have graded that. Eevee Snorlax GX, cool little hyper rare. I think we're going into some modern. That might be it for the old backs. 8-5 in that same card is a little rough. 9-5 in the Dragonite GX. That's a pretty decent card. And some of these labels feel a little bit empty without the subgrades. I think that's like my biggest criticism for not doing them. But I haven't really noticed. I haven't noticed any real difference in their grading standards, because I feel like a lot of this stuff would have gotten the same grade even if it had subgrades. I know that was a theory some people were working with, whereas if you went subgrades on these cards, they might be a little bit tougher, a little bit, I don't know, they just might be tougher. But there very much doesn't seem to be the case, because these grades aren't really that remarkable, and it's at like a similar spread to if I did like the subgraded submissions I've done in the past. Yeah, like this label, it just feels quite empty without the subgrades underneath. Just, I don't know. There's a lot of dead space. And this is a little detail I like that I've noticed on the label too. You see bottom right corner, there is an embossed CGC logo, which I think is just one of those authentication measures they're doing, so that there's stuff that you can notice. There's just stuff to kind of authenticate the label. I don't really know how to explain that better. 8-5. These are probably questionable as well. I remember at the time, that's a pretty solid grade. 9-5 in the premium file too. Umbreon. I think at the time, the premium files, the Neo premium files, were pretty valuable to get graded. But I think that's one of those other things where there are just so many of those folders out there that there are a lot that had gotten graded and are being returned back now. This is one that I didn't even realize I purchased, but just really nice. This was the XY era, just really clean, beautiful. This should be XY, yeah, 2016. Really nice full art, nice colors. I don't think the Pokemon is very popular, but even it says XY in the bottom right. I'm kind of stumped. I don't even remember buying 2, but I guess I bought 2 and graded 2. I do remember this Manectric. Really like that artwork. Just this era of artwork, the XY full arts are nice and dynamic. Black and white, I still think I personally rate a little bit better. I like a little bit more. X and Y got a little bit more colorful than black and white. But then it's like they have this great formula going, and then Sun and Moon comes along, and they just fumble it. And they just release such mediocre stuff. It's really good. Same idea with these cards too. Like I think at the time, the Neo Premium stuff was much more valuable and worth grading. Maybe now things have changed. It would have been better to sell raw, but like this stuff was sent 6 months ago. Like August was a very different time for cards, in my opinion. Quite the diversity though. Venusaur starter deck 5. I don't even remember buying this or even sending this in. Wow, that's like an insane swirl right there next to his head. That's like a real thick swirl. 5 in that. 8 in the Crobat. I'm happy with my EXs in 8+. I think those are just solid grades. Considering a lot of them are, what you would consider an ultra rare card. Let's see. I unboxed a lot of EXs in the last week's unboxing, or like the previous portion of this submission. I didn't realize I submitted so many EX cards. This is quite a few. Quite the run we got. I think I got back 4. I graded 4 of these Altarias in this past submission. Here's just a random Eevee promo. I think in English this is also a promotional card, but I did like the fact that it has the stamp. I'm a big stamp fan. But that the more I look at it, the hollow foil is quite disappointing. It's just like this. They do this a lot now. It's just this line style. It's not nice, especially compared to like the English hollow pattern. That one at least has some like uniqueness. Yeah, just some Eevee promos. Just graded popular Pokemon. Like Eevee is probably one of the most popular Pokemon. Within Gen 1, it's probably up there between Pikachu and Charizard. I would rate them probably less, but it just, I don't know, it's worth, it was in my opinion worth it to just stock up on Eevee promo cards or Eevee hollows, like Japanese exclusives. I will say the quality of the second half of the box, it seems a lot higher than for the first half. 8.5 to Dene. I think, well, this is a really nice one from XY. Trevenant. It's so dark. Wow. It's like actually messing up. You can barely see the texture on camera. Really nice artwork. I don't. A lot of the full arts are just tough. They scratch really easily, and they pick up. A lot of them have edge wear, especially from this X and Y era. So I don't know. I was just stocking up on them because they felt. A lot of them you could purchase for close to the price of kind of. So you could buy them for close to the price of modern full arts, and to me it was just like it made no sense. If that was the case, I was just gonna buy the X and Y ones. But maybe like in hindsight, I've learned a lot of stuff over the past couple months. I try to be a little bit more, have a little bit more discretion on what I'm purchasing. I try to focus on Pokemon that are more popular. Yeah. Oh, wow, look at that hollow pattern. That is so nice. Yeah, I one of the things that I've spoken to a couple friends about too is starting up a binder collection, and I really do think I want to do a binder collection of just, Neo hollows are really beautiful, and like the early EX era stuff, just really good artworks, and even into like LP. This is cool one, Natawake Sunkern. I don't know if I graded a Natawake set. Koro Nidoking. This is one of the cool promos. Giovanni's Nidoking, I should say. Really nice. This one is typically quite damaged as well, so when I saw this one, I kind of knew it was going to be that mid-grade. Still sent it in. This one's really cool to me, just a Sandaconda alt art. I think when I had sent this into CGC, I sent this in the grading, the English version hadn't released. This and the Celebi were still Japanese exclusive, but I think since then, English copy was released in some set. I love this alternate art as well. Just Marshadow and Machamp hanging out. 8.5 is pretty rough. I'm not, yeah, that type of card, the more modern stuff, you really hope to get above a 9 in. Nice little Yama. So I graded a decent amount of old back hollows. I didn't realize that I graded so many. Quite a few 8.5s. 8 and tops. I think one thing I've noticed too is before a lot of my modern stuff, I was averaging around, I would say my average grade in a submission hovered much closer to that 9. But for this stuff, it's definitely much closer to 8.5 to 8. But I think this submission was a lot heavier on the EX Ultra Rares and then this old back hollows, just older and rarer stuff. Bilingual Executor, Trainers Magazine promo. I think a lot of these hollows are still coming from that same binder set. That's a nice grade. Unknown A, a 9, 8.5. I would say above 8 is now my new target for grading old back hollows. Ooh, Touch Change. This is a cool promotional card. One of the really old ones. Oh, I graded multiple. Nice. Both 8s. It's not bad. Barry, this is the Champion Road promo. Mediocre grade, but it is one of those really old, much older promotional cards. It has the nice gold embossed stamp on the bottom. I'll take that. Yeah, these definitely came from that binder collection. I remember that much at least. Well, this is a cool one. Blissey from the Town Unknown map. Just really nice E-Series artwork. I was talking about binder collections. I like the E-Series stuff. It's just so hard to find it raw for like a decent price. So that's just like a set that's so expensive. Giovanni skin. This is such good artwork for Giovanni. Like this is back in that X and Y era too, where I'm just saying like, look how colorful it is. I mean, compare this to even the Sword and Shield Giovanni card. Just so much nicer. And then this is so good. This is black and white Deoxys. Wow. Just very dynamic artwork, lots of colors and detail. This is more stuff that I just like. This Cella B Venusaur alternate art, one of my favorites. Thundurus EX, not a popular Pokemon, but to me this is just great artwork. I'm noticing pretty much all of our X and Y full arts are getting 8.5s. But I think I was pretty cognizant that they were going to grade a little bit tough on those. Mostly because they just seem to have a lot of wear when I got them in, and I noticed that. I say that too for the X and Y, but even a lot of these Sun and Moon era full arts are getting 8.5. We're starting to get some 9.5s. I graded a lot of hyper rares, I think, in this submission. And since this sub, this is a really nice one. Yveltal EX, really good art. Since this submission, I've pretty much been done. Like I don't think I've submitted hyper rares really since this August submission. I don't think I've even bought hyper rares in the sense. They just seem to underperform for me. I understand it because I like full arts a lot better. I like when they have the color of the Pokemon. But yeah, it just kind of sucks that I do have this inventory of hyper rares that I have to go through. And we saw that Eevee earlier, same idea. This Eevee card is in English as a promo too, I think, but it was just, I thought it was one of those cool cards to pick up that were fairly cheap and affordable, and just, have a popular Pokemon as the main one, made it worth it to grade. So I'm not sure how many I sent in. This is a nice one, Sceptile EX, full art from Bandit Ring, XY7. Really good artwork, super dark colors, and then more of those Sandaconda purchase promos. Well, I think I sent it 5, and all 5 got 9s. That kind of sucks. Anyway, that's it for this bulk submission. Yeah, I actually have a lot more bulk cards coming back soon too. So we're gonna be kind of stocked up on inventory for the site. I'm excited to be able to start listing stuff again, getting the stuff that I sent in back. But I'm also excited that I can start making these videos and going over stuff again. So yeah, thanks for watching, and have a nice one. And if you see anything you like, feel free to reach out, I guess. Bye.